Hello, everyone. I'm Baron Avi. I'm a Paragon warrior out of Fear and I here in Winter's Edge, and I'd like to welcome you to the 11th episode of Warrior Chats.
I'm Baron A. Heraldor Smasher, Paragon Warrior out of the Ever-Living Woods.
And I'm Ren Kenobi, an up-and-coming warrior from Fear and I in Winter's Edge.
I am Baron Sir Juicy out of Blackfire Pass and the Rising Winds, also a Paragon warrior.
And Juicy, you're our special guest today, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been playing Amtgard, what you did to earn Paragon, and that sort of stuff.
Well, I'm going in my 21st year in the game with no breaks. Seems like forever now. I've done it longer than I haven't. I actually, when I was coming up for my warrior, I was lucky enough that my best friend was working on his Paragon Druid. So we basically turned me into a force of nature with him behind me, as a pocket druid. And we just destroyed everything in our wake. And I just told my park, I'm like, I'm not going to play another class until I get Paragon. So you guys should be asking. And they went to the king, and after he gave me the word, he goes, I had 18 people request your Paragon warrior. So I think you should get him a break now. I don't think I died for 3 months because we weren't very magic heavy at the park at the time. And I was just mowing through everybody.
So, great example of what Warrior's greatest strength is.
Exactly.
Anything not magical.
Exactly.
So what got you into playing Warrior?
I like armor. I started, so Warrior was my very first class in the game because I owned chainmail. But the chainmail ended up pulling itself apart because it was, cheap aluminum. And then I started playing Barbarian. I played it for a while. And I decided I wanted to get back into Warrior again. So I bought some plate arms and legs and the chainmail shirt. And I wear a full gambeson suit out under it, so it all averages. And then, just when V8 came out, I'm like, Warrior is easily the strongest melee class, and I think I'm going to be good at this. And I just love playing it. It's easily my favorite melee class. So I'm also a Paragon Paladin and Barbarian.
Okay, so you're sitting right around Battlemaster, aren't you?
Yeah, I have 9.
Okay. Only 9 with 3 Paragons?
Yeah, there was some issues with how we gave our masterhoods out. I'm a bit bitter, but it is what it is.
Can't control everything.
Exactly. I'll get it eventually. Right now I'm working towards Paragon Bard. Tons of awe, 1 point of armor, sword, and shield. So playing to my strengths.
Right now I'm working towards Paragon Healer, so I feel you on that.
Nice.
So you talked a little bit about your kit. Would you mind going into detail about your armor?
Yeah. So I use a heavy gauge aluminum riveted chain shirt that comes down just past about halfway down my thighs. Or no, this shirt actually just comes right to my waist, and then short sleeves. I have a pair of heavy gauge aluminum fluted bracers that cover my elbow to wrist. So I guess they're van braces. I now have picked up an aluminum skirt that comes down to my knees, and then I wear a pair of steel greaves with a gambeson suit underneath there, so there's no gaps. So I'm at 5 on my arms, 5 on my legs, and then 4 on my chest.
Pretty solid total.
Yeah. I figure if you're going to wear all that armor, if you have the ability to wear all that armor, you should wear as much as you can. I used to wear a breastplate and back, but I didn't like how it moved. It just hampered my movement too much. I went back, because I had chainmail before, and then I went to plate, and then I went back to chain. I'm like, the 2 points isn't worth the amount of movement that I lose wearing this.
So, kind of odd question. How far down on you did that breastplate sit?
It's about my belly button.
Huh, that's about where it should sit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sat where it should, but I have a very active defense, so I move and twist a lot for my blocks. Like everything comes from my hips, so it really hampered my twisting and turning. Just kind of got bunched up in different places. so I just wasn't a fan.
Okay, that
And
makes
I'm
a lot
just and I'm just way too lazy for Lamellar.
of. Having made some Lamellar, I can understand that.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that wear it, and they're like, man, I spent so much time. I'm like, yeah, I'll wear my chainmail and be just as good. I'm fine.
I don't know. Lamellar seems like the easiest type of armor to make to me, but I generally also really enjoy weaving it, so I think that may be
That
skewing
helps.
my bias. Like the last, I made some Lamellar tassets, and I was really proud of how the weave came out because I did it all in one with one piece of cord for each
Oh,
tasset.
nice.
Yeah, it looks really cool on the back. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't have the patience for that stuff.
The only lamb I've done was late period Japanese style, and that was a lot of time drilling holes.
Oh, I bet.
I just recently finished building a suit of late 16th century Japanese armor out of aluminum for a friend.
Nice. I bet that looks great.
I'm really proud of it.
yeah, it looks good.
Does look good.
Regan, the guy I built it for, just recently got his Paragon anti-paladin, so
Oh, nice.
It's also the reason why I've been looking into getting a plasma cutter.
I've heard that many times over this year. People are like, man, I really want a plasma cutter.
I really want him to get a plasma cutter.
Oh, I bet.
He will be in my workshop every other day.
Instead of you being in mine every weekend.
True.
It's good to have friends with workshops.
Yeah, I don't know if we've mentioned this on the podcast before. I recently took Ren as an apprentice warrior.
Oh, nice.
He did, and I'm very happy for it.
So we've talked a bit about your armor. What sort of weapons do you like to carry?
So when I play warrior, I fight Florentine. That's my bread and butter. I'm a Florentine fighter through and through. But I also don't like. I like the shield becomes a target. You know, if you got ancestral armor, you don't want that ice ball hitting you in the shield. You want to catch it in the forearm. So yeah, so I went Florentine coming up. Yeah, sword and shield is actually probably my weakest style.
I've heard quite a few people tell me that, you know, level 6 ancestral warrior with lots of armor and flow is pretty dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about trying to flow myself since I'm relatively new to the warrior style.
Yeah. Shield is nice. That defense is really helpful. Until you get ancestral armor, it's good to have. But once you get that ancestral, people start targeting your shield, and with your ice balls, your entangles and whatnot, and it's it's you want to eat that in the armor instead.
I was going to say, I think the look on a spellcaster's face when you open up your shield and let the ice ball hit you in the chest, and you get to go ancestral and just charge them is
Mm-hmm.
still brilliant, though, whenever you can get the shield out of the way.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think with both the tanking the dragon story and the running down Manheo when he was doing archery, I had to open up my board to be able to use AA rather than getting hit with something engulfing on my shield.
Right. Yeah, my shield's a max medium dome, so it's hard to get out of the way.
Mine's also a max medium, and I use it largely because I've got issues with my left arm, which wouldn't be so
Yeah.
bad if I weren't left-handed.
Ooh, ouch.
But I fight sword and board largely to cover up mobility issues.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm a bigger guy, but I have explosive speed. When I'm dangerous over short distances. So I count myself lucky that I don't need that extra help for mobility.
My mobility issues are solely in my shoulder.
Okay. Well, it makes sense from what you were saying earlier.
Now, I have, over the last couple of years, started doing a lot of scab pole work and had a lot of fun with it.
Well, that's good.
Chad.
Honestly, polearm is my favorite way to play a warrior.
I would have liked to have used a greatsword, but I didn't have a good one when I was doing warrior all the time.
So this guy at my park, who's been king and is the current champion of Winter's Edge right now, Clover, has this great sword that is so amazing. I want one so bad. I think it's 5 feet long, and then it has a like 2-foot wide cross guard made of I think it's like shaped fiberglass,
Nice.
and then the blade has like flanges on it so that it's scab. And I'm like, oh, it's just so beautiful and amazing.
I've made a couple of pretty good great swords.
Plug Sir Razor out of Town of Gore. He has a site called Facebook Razor's Blades. Makes amazing weapons and great swords. They use fiberglass hockey sticks, and they're balanced. They're easy. They're light. They're destructive.
If you'll send me a link to that, I'll go ahead and stick it in the description of this.
Let's see if I can find it.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, I've never thought of using fiberglass hockey cores.
He gets them from the St. Louis Blues. He buys them by the bulk. And he usually only uses about a 5 or 6 out of them, but the ones he has are fantastic.
Yeah, fiberglass. I mean, I've played hockey in my younger years, and the fiberglass sticks were always really light.
Yeah, 5-foot greatsword made out of one, and if I need to, I can swing it one-handed like I would a longsword, and just it's great.
Ideas.
There, Avy, I just sent it to you.
Ah, thank you.
Thank you.
You said this guy's a Tal'Dorei Knight?
Yes, but he ships, so that's stuff to keep in mind.
My knight was a Tal'Dorei Knight, so.
Oh yeah, who was that?
Tie-dye?
Oh, I was very close with her.
So, I miss her, but...
Yeah, I do too. I'm right there with you. Yeah, we got to be really good friends once she moved up that way, because I was going out regularly to see Razor, and we got to be pretty close.
Now, we had known each other for a long time. She squired me about 6 months after she got knighted, about 4 months before she passed.
Yeah. That's good. That's cool.
So someone came in and talked to me, so I missed the portion about your weapon selection. However, well, I don't want you to have to repeat it, but because I can just listen back to it when the podcast comes out. However, so did you cover how you like to engage a battlefield, or what your like breakdown of like where do I need to go, where do I need to be, what do I need to do is?
No. I fight Florentine when I play Warrior. That's quickly easy to recover. I tend, so I'm a very defensive fighter. I like to block and then repost, and so I find the largest group of non-magical people and just wreck, and just block, eat a point to the armor, kill them, jump back, yell scavenge, jump back in, and re-engage. I think scavenge is easily the warrior's best ability. I like it more even than ancestral armor. Just being able to wade into combat, eat a couple points, kill a couple people, and be back on your feet and going is just amazing.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
Oh, I love it. I think I told a story several episodes ago now, about pretty much soloing a dungeon full of fragile skeleton monsters.
Oh yeah.
Just trade a leg and scavenge the point back.
So one of my favorite stories is Warlord Sir Raven used to play at our park before he moved to Texas, and he's playing assassin, and I'm fighting, and I engage these two people, and he runs up and starts drum rolling me. Well, I kill them real quick, turn and kill him, but he took 5 points off my arm and 4 points off my chest. I was wearing my plate at the shirt. I was wearing my breastplate at the time. And so he went and took his death. The death was like a minute and a half, which was very long, but it was like a 15-on-15 game. So he wanted things to run a little slower than normal. And I just killed his entire team. So he comes back alive and he goes, "How many points you got?" I'm like, "I'm back at full." And he's like, "You're what?" And he looks at his Nirvana, and there's 11 people standing there. He just kind of chucks the swords on the ground, goes, "That's it, I'm done. Warrior sucks."
Yeah, nothing's better than an assassin coming back to you thinking he's only got to drum roll you once or twice.
Exactly.
He goes, "What do you got?" "No, I'm back to 4 on chest and 4 on arms, missing 1 point from arm."
Yep.
What?
Yep, that face is glorious.
Was it Rom who was talking about getting like 14 scavenges off at once?
That was Rom.
That's impressive.
He got the. I'm not going to spoil the story. You should go listen to his episode in the podcast.
Huzzah.
Yes. So you mentioned. So you said. So the continue back where you said you'd like to engage mostly non-magical users. So what's your strategy if you have to engage or you're forced to engage with a magic user?
Try to avoid them because there ain't much you can do against a verbal caster. They're just gonna eat you alive. If they're spell balls, I'll take that spell ball to the forearm or block it with my sword, depending on what they throw, and then just still kill them and get my weapon or arm point back. Yeah, there's warrior's not built to really handle a verbal caster. We have shake it off, but it's it's still 10 seconds. You're standing there,
Right. Yeah.
and it's definitely our weakness. But I think as good as we are against every non-melee, or against every melee, that having 2 or 3 classes be dangerous to us is a fair trade.
Right. Yeah. You can't have warrior being the best class overall.
Nah, that's druid.
Druid. Yeah.
Yep.
We've got a couple of Paragons here who claim that Druid is the best class because it is, in fact, every class.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, my best friend is Narsh is a Paragon Druid, and he has a build for everything. He's like, today I think I'll play Assassin, and he just puts on his Druid sash. Yeah, hopefully V9 will change that a little bit, and maybe some other classes will be able to play the same game that Druid does. I don't play Druid because I don't think it'd be very fair.
That's largely why I don't play Druid.
Yep. Yeah, on top of, I'm great at mitigating armor. I'm a warlord as well, so my stick game's where it needs to be. So if I can give myself points of armor and just wait in a combat and mend as I need to go, and verbal you while I'm at it, yeah, no, just doesn't seem fair to the rest of the field. So I play Bard, where I just take a bunch of alls instead.
That sounds just awful.
It really is. But I have fun with it. If I could heal as a bard, I would be in force of nature. My Narsh just legs me with wounding and then walks away. I'm like, oh, you pain.
Yeah. Too bad you guys lost voice in V7 or in V8.
Uh huh. Exactly. That was so nice.
So, Juicy, when you do have a druid there ready to buff you up and make you a monster, what do you prefer to have enchanted on you?
I go with Golem, Flame Blade, Wounds Kill, and Gift of Fire, because I can spit out a flame spell pretty quickly. Heat Weapon, that's what I'm looking for. I can spit out a Heat Weapon and then just roll in and kill them while they can't hit back.
It's a very good stack.
Yeah, a warrior casting heat weapon on somebody else.
Become the very thing we swore to destroy.
Exactly.
I really feel like that's about the only viable 4-stack from a Druid.
Yeah, it's the best. We've tried different combinations to see what works the best, but those are definitely my favorites.
Golem is far and away my favorite enchant to pack.
Oh yeah, easily. It just makes a warrior more disgusting. That persistent enchantments is just wonderful.
I mentioned last episode that there have been a couple of weekend-long events where I've kept AA up the entire event solely because of Golem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me too.
I think it was Book of Heroes where we were divided into like 5-man teams, and it was a sort of competitive PvE thing where you were going around doing different challenges against dungeons and groups of monsters, and the teams competed by getting various numbers of points. I had a buddy on another team who was kind enough to take Golem for me, since he was running AON and had a couple of spare points.
Yeah. Well, that's nice of him.
It was. We only had a 2-person team on or I was only on a 2-person team, but we still managed to come in 5th out of 9 teams.
Nice. Yep. Warrior and Golem will do that. We were playing a Knights and Squires versus the World game. It was and we had a wall with 2 openings, and I managed to hold one opening by myself. Well, I had my pocket druid with me, but I just held it. I held it. It was probably at any given time 5 to 10 people swinging at me. I just blocked out and would kind of stab here and there and just held the point. I'd eat a couple shots, get low, be like, all right, men's, and get hit with a Spodoinko and run back into combat.
God, I love Spodoinkle.
It's glorious, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Right after I got my Paragon, I had a pocket wizard for a lot of stuff.
Nice.
All the Spodoinkles on his list.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever meet Nevin Bear or Heralder?
Yeah, I met Nevin a few times. Never really got to know him though. I know who he is.
He moved to Florida about the time you started getting really active in the kingdom. So what's your favorite warrior story?
That would actually be the one I just listed. Where I held an opening by myself, and then after the game, I'm like sitting off to the side of the field, just winded as all hell. And these 2 newer players come up and they're like, "Are you that breaking, crushing behemoth that was destroying our flank?" Like, yes, that would definitely be me. So now my friends call me a behemoth.
That's not a bad nickname to get.
Nope, I'm okay with it.
Gathering of the Crowns 2014, I picked up the nickname the Mountain That Walks.
Nice.
Because I'm 6'4". At the
Oh,
time,
okay.
I was about 240 pounds. I need to get back down to that.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
And I wear an 87-pound suit of armor. I walked onto the field. There was nobody else in armor practically. Walked onto the field just before a game started, and people heard this clanking from across the field, and they just started turning, and they realized what was walking towards them.
Yeah, most of my kit's aluminum, so it probably weighs about 25 pounds altogether, and it's all spread out, so it's really nice. I lose almost no mobility with it, and I love it.
I've felt that sometimes with I wear all steel, including a steel chain shirt. That's where most of my weight comes from.
Yeah, I'm a big guy as well. I'm 6 foot, 280, but so yeah, when I step on the field in my bright shining armor, it's an imposing sight.
Nothing's better than stepping on the field and everybody kind of looks over like, there's a threat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make myself a suit of aluminum, but I'm waiting until the V9 rules are a little more in concrete.
Yeah, I've had my aluminum set since the beginning of V8, so I'm terrified the V9 is gonna nerf it on me even more, and I'm gonna be angry.
I was just starting to get into heavy armor, or building heavy armor, during the V8 playtesting, so...
Right, so you had an idea of what you needed and what you wanted.
Right. I built something with the intent of it being 6 points in both V7 and V8.
Right.
And I'm in one of the V9 focus groups, so...
Oh, nice.
I see a lot of ideas being bounced around, and I want to wait and see something a bit more concrete before I invest the time and money to build something new.
Good call. Yeah, all my aluminum is heavy gauge and fluted, so I still get my max point, or I get, and then I wear a gammusen under that all, so I get my max points out of it, which is nice.
Right.
Max points and full coverage.
Exactly.
And when you're rocking golem, that goes ahead and bumps your torso up to 5.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I wear the chain and the breastplate because I only have a front breastplate. I don't have the back plate.
Oh, okay.
So I wear the chain to cover the back side of me because if I don't, I think I go down to 3 or 4.
That sounds
maybe.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's 3 with the percentage coverage.
Yeah.
We need to get you a backplate at some point soon.
Yeah, I've looked at building my own backplate, and it's a lot of curvature,
It is. It really is.
especially since I'm trying to go the English wheel route for my curving of metals.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to do a backplate, there's a lot of strange. It'll be hard to do with an English wheel. I'd probably have to do Avi's dome technique he does to get that one.
Yeah, I think it would be hard with a wheel.
Yeah, Avi's my teacher on all things armoring right now.
Very nice. I know a little bit about a lot. So I know a little bit about armor making and smithing. I lived in Texas for a winter helping my grandparents out. I played out of College Station in Morgengard, and actually while I was down there, Megiddo decided to make 2 breastplates, so I got to watch him do that, which was nice.
Yeah, those breastplates are hard too. There's a lot of curvature to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he made 2 breast. It was a breastplate and backplate. He made 2 sets, one for him and one for his buddy Cue Ball. And it was interesting. I realize I don't ever want to make plate. So for you people that do, more kudos to you. That's not something I ever want to mess with.
For me, the toughest part about doing a breastplate is trying to get curvature in 2 different axes.
Makes sense.
My first one ever was a Chernborg. I actually still use it because it was what I was learning on.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been making other styles for other people as I go.
That's cool.
My current favorite to build is a Japanese style called the Sendai Do.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It takes a lot of the difficulty of the curvature out by doing multiple plates that hinge together.
Oh, okay.
So you end up getting the metal on metal articulation bonus,
Mm-hmm.
assuming you do your hinges correctly.
Right.
And yeah, easy bonus to pick up.
Very nice. Yeah. Every bonus helps.
Absolutely. Especially when you do it out of aluminum.
Exactly. You got 2 points you got to make up for. You want every bonus you can.
I recently did a suit where I literally include a card for the Reeves on how it should be rated.
Nice. Like, here's my bonuses, my negatives, here's everything you need to know.
Here are the relative percentages of coverage, because I think I used 6 different styles according to the rule book.
Oof, man. That's impressive.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm currently sitting on 10 owls for a combination of armor and artillery.
Oh, awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I have 7 for mostly weapons and whatnot. My goal is to be a master owl without ever making armor, because every master owl in the Rising Winds is for making armor. To mine, actually, I think we may have one more now that isn't for it. Lao Tzu, I think, makes chests and things like that.
I don't think we actually have a native Winter's Edge master owl. We've got 1 or 2 who moved in.
Right. Yeah, but you guys are still relatively new, kingdom at least. Although we're a principality forever and a day.
Yeah, we were a principality since 2003.
That sounds about right. I got a bunch of triad friends down that way that I've lost contact with over the last several years, but so I'm very familiar with the old days of Winter's Edge.
I think we gave Lork his Master Owl.
I thought he was dragon.
No, I think his was Owl. I'll double check his his orc real quick.
Yeah, if you don't mind. I'd rather correct an error now than 2 episodes later.
Yeah, Rising Winds, we're very artsy kingdom, so we have tons of master dragons, master owls, master garbers.
Master Owl.
Okay.
Oh, so you guys have a master owl.
Most of our ANS masters are garbers.
Yeah, ours too.
I think we've made 3 master garbers since we became a kingdom.
Actually, I think we have more dragons than anything else, honestly. all kinds of different mediums.
Oh, we've got four master garb, 3 that we made and 1 that we got while we were still a principality.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I'm a big pusher of the A and of arts and sciences. I think it makes our game, look better and just be better. So I push it the most as much as I can. I don't like to make things, but I like looking at pretty things, so I push it out there.
I remember being a newbie. I'd been in the game for all of about 2 weeks, and I looked at my roommate who had gotten me into the game. Like, man, I will never have more than 2 points of armor. I was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
God, that's 17 years ago now.
It's always fun when you hit that. You're like, oh my god, it's so long.
I will be hitting. Next year will be the point in time where I hit as long in the game as not.
Right. I started when I was 2 weeks before my 19th birthday. So I have been playing longer than I haven't been at this point.
I started playing 6 weeks before my 19th birthday.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this in May I'll be at 21 years.
April, I will be at 17 years.
Not bad at all. Yeah, and if all goes as planned, this year I will be getting my sword belt, my 3rd belt, which will be a 3 for a while, because like I said, I don't like to make things.
A sword is the one that I know I have no chance of ever earning.
It's all practice with anything else. I joke that I won mine through attrition. I won a tournament in 06, one in 14, and one in 19. So I just I just attritioned my way into wins. So when they dropped it down to 3 wins, my monarch immediately messaged me and was like, "Hey, you're gonna get this now." I'm like, "Sweet, thank you."
I'm sitting on 6 Orders of the Warrior, and that's probably where I'm going to peak.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. You got to put. I mean, it's hard work. I mean, it's training like anything else. If you're training to make armor, you're training to sew. You got to put the time in to do it. It's practice every 2-3 times a week.
Yep.
Or in my case, just play for 20 years. So yeah, it's just like anything else. You just need to practice and be good. And honestly, I wanted to be a good fighter, not to get my warlord or anything, but I just wanted to be a better class gamer. Because if the more stick skill you got, the better you're going to be in the class game.
I mean, that's absolutely true.
Even your wizard, if they can use their short sword to block and kill while throwing a spell ball, you're far and away going to live longer than if you can't.
Hey, it sounds like Sid just joined us.
He did.
Hey.
Sid, you want to go ahead and do your intro real quick?
Roar! I'm here.
You are, in fact.
Oh, not. Am I late? Wow. Okay, well that makes sense. Because I'm Sid, warrior from Dragon's Hollow. I'm big. I'm slow. Late,
Time zone differences.
and I do the tank thing.
Aha, that makes sense.
Well, it's 11:53 here. I was like, okay,
12
o'clock,
hour
12
time.
o'clock, 12 o'clock. All right, got it.
Yeah, when Avi says noon, it's 11 o'clock for the rest of us.
Right. A little bit.
Oh man, I'm really late. Crap.
If that's the worst that happens today.
Oh, are we still doing the? Oh, we are totally doing the recording. I wanted to ask a question because I
Then ask
promised
away.
all of our people that listen. This is for our northern friend. You said you were from Ohio?
Mm-hmm. Blackfire Pass out of Columbus, Ohio.
Is the gear different up there? Because down here in Arkansas, weather highly affects armor.
Oh yeah, our actually weather isn't horribly different than you guys. The Midwest is kind of all the same across the board. It's cold in the winter and hot in the summer. And if you have mild steel, it rusts in like three days. So
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I have a. Go ahead.
especially with I mean, you wouldn't think that the salt would get everywhere, but it does.
Oh, it totally does. Yeah.
You don't watch it; it will pit your
My
stuff.
Hmm.
my steel armor and chain lived in Oklahoma, where it is like 98% humidity consistently, and there's just no way to keep it from rusting unless you gun oil it and lather it up in oil. And then the moment you put it on,
Yeah, that's it.
you're just taking a shower in oil.
Hmm. Yeah, my greaves are mild steel, and I just watched them slowly rust over a course of a winter, and so I just went out and bought chrome Rust-Oleum and just chromed them out. now, now I just every 6 weeks or so I just reapply my chrome, and I'm like, this is fine now.
I might have something to offer for that.
Oh yeah.
The armor book mentions something on bluing your armor. Have you ever
Hmm.
tried anything with that?
No, I'm kind of lazy and don't want to put in the effort. I have a buddy of mine who powder coats, or used to powder coat, and I kept meaning to get him to him so he could take care of that. But like I never got around to it. So now I just just spray him with Rust-Oleum and move on. And the
Well,
can's like $3 and it lasts me a year.
you might try. Well, I did this to a giant ruler that I turned into a pizza slayer in order to keep it from just ruining itself in a dishwasher. I took a torch, a propane torch. That thing hits 3,000 degrees right there on that little cone, and I just painted the armor with oxygen. And I mean that's basically what they did with older armors when they would blue it, is they would put it in this furnace and it would oxidize at a specific temperature, and then it would come out and it would be different shades of blue or tan or black or and it's I think it's very similar to a process called anodizing. It's
Yeah.
I did that to that knife years ago, and it's the only place where you really have to watch it and make it really good and clean is right there along the edge where you're constantly removing material. So yeah, maybe paint it with a
I've done
torch.
something similar where I heated up a piece of armor actually on the grill, propane grill, got it up to about 800 degrees,
Oh, cool!
and then dunked each plate
Hell
in
yeah!
a bath of peanut oil. Got this really neat chocolate
Ooh.
finish on a lot of it.
Got that Chick-fil-A armor.
You can also you can also wax them too. Yeah, you can get like surfboard wax
To wax it.
and put a coat of wax on. Yeah, put a coat of
Yeah,
wax on. I mean, it's the
that makes
same thing as
sense.
like you
I
would
didn't
do
even
with
think about it.
Rust-Oleum. It's just when the wax starts coming off, you just re-wax it and it's
Right.
clear.
Yeah.
You can get clear waxes. You can get
You just re-wax it. Huh.
kind of some softer white waxes and things of that nature. But yeah, I used to ski and snowboard up in northern Canada, and armor and my weapon, I had a sword, a prop sword, and I used to wax it. And after a few times, the wax got all inside the sheath. So every time the sword went in the sheath, it just got re-waxed.
Wax itself. That's a really good idea.
You can get surfboard wax
Nice.
pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Amazon for the win.
Hey, do you think you could do that to cloth armor to waterproof it?
I don't know how well it'd work on cloth because the way it moves, I think it would break the wax.
Ah, yeah.
You can just buy spray sealant, like canvas sealant, and spray down cloth armor, and that'll waterproof it. I do that with my cloak every year.
Like a Scotch
Ah.
guard, or
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I need to do that. I get big, I get wet, I get heavy.
Yeah, I feel you.
Crap.
My perk laughs at me because I don't play in the rain. Like as soon as it starts raining, I run for our pavilion. Like I don't play in the rain. I don't like being wet.
I don't mind it when it's wet. I don't mind it when it's cold. When it's wet and cold,
Yeah, no, I stay. Yeah, I'm good there too. Like, yeah. Yep, you won't see me leave the pavilion on a cold, rainy day.
One of the benefits of a max round shield, you just hold it up and it's an umbrella.
Yeah, that is
Also
true.
makes great shade in the summer.
we'll fight in the rain. Crap. Now I'm gonna have to definitely go back and listen to the whole thing. Crap.
There's something to do.
Give you plenty of content to listen to.
But that was the extent of what I was wondering about, because it's like we actually it does the weather, it really does, it affects what you put on and how long you keep it on. It's I was kind of hoping there was a magical place on this planet I could go to and just run around in armor all the time.
It's like 70 all year round, depending on where you go. Still humidity, so you can't go mild steel. But I was saying earlier, is my whole 90% of my kit is aluminum, so I don't worry about the weather most of the time.
I know a guy named KotSw who does a lot of aluminum, like lamellar stuff, really pretty plate stuff. Yeah, I mean, he gets the points back for thicker gauge and just a little bit of technique.
The thing up here is aluminum plates with heavy gauge, and they flute them. We have there's a couple of different places that will flute the plates for a little bit extra. So you get that extra point there, right there, and it looks really neat.
I'm wanting to get a press so I can do my own fluting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not even hard. You don't need a press for that.
When you're doing it several hundred times?
Yeah. If you're doing 500 plates, you want to press.
Yeah. But it's like I'm playing with some 22 gauge steel right now, so probably not that hard to put the flute lines into with a modified file. But yeah, if you guys are rocking like a 18 gauge decent steel, probably got a pound on that pretty good.
Having worked with both 22 and up to 16, there is a huge difference once you start getting a lot thicker.
Yeah, I'm putting some armor together for a raffle down here, and I'm going through the whole process and paying really close attention to it. I want it to come out looking really nice, but this is probably the first plate thing I've done, so I'm trying real hard to learn these techniques on a medium that I can either screw up and throw away, or get some good practice on.
Right.
It's coming out nice. It's gonna look pretty.
If I were just starting to get into plate armor, looking back now, I would do Spalders as my first project and a Gorget as my second.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Something for the shoulder instead of something for the forearm.
More like looking back now, I know that those two projects are simple and they teach techniques that you need.
A lot of people know that.
My first project was a breastplate, and I wish it hadn't been.
Ooh. Talking about biting into the deep end of the sandwich there.
Yeah, it sounds painful.
Yeah. Not what I would do now, not how I would guide a newbie today.
Right.
Oh man, that's literally the story of what's going on with this stuff. Is I'm cutting off pieces to learn the techniques on, and then once I get real good and satisfied with it, I go back to the armor and I apply that to it. So I've got all of these pieces, several of them that are some really crappy flute lines that get straighter and straighter and crisper and nicer, and then I've got some rivets that were easy to tear apart, and right down to the one that's really nice and sturdy. It seems like you always do it a little different, try to do it a little better.
I'm thankful.
I'm like, like I will like run and run and run and run and run and talk and talk and talk, And I know that I'm just like really late. I'm trying not to drag this out.
Any questions or anything you want to bring up? Now's a good time to do it. We talked about.
Yeah, that was like my one question. Is it different in Ohio? Is there?
Not really. I've played. Honestly, I've played all over the country. I've been as far west as Colorado. I've played in Texas. I've been up in Canada. So I've played a little bit of everywhere, and honestly, it's not a lot different for equipment wise anywhere you go. And just small tweaks here and there on how you got to keep track of things. Your different. Your mild steel might rust a little bit faster here than there, but yeah, it's not a whole lot different.
I was noticing in my first winter in Amtgard that it doesn't matter whether it's like 20 degrees on the field or like 80 degrees on the field. If you're wearing anything other than like your garb, if you've got any kind of armor on, there's going to be this layer of swamp between you and the air,
Yes.
And it's like if it's cold, then what happens is you don't feel the heat, but you generate plenty of it, and you're insulated, so it is on you. And if it's warm, then it's like you know it's hot, so you don't run as much maybe, but there's still swamp between you and the air.
Yeah, I wear a full gambeson tunic and pants. The warmer it gets, the less I like it. It's like I said, I don't like being wet, but man, you just get this layer of moisture in that between you and that gambeson.
Yes.
You're just like, it's horrible.
You just like peel your understuff off and like wow, I'm an athlete. This is weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've all talked about the post-event shower, I think, at some point. The post-armor shower
It's
is even
glorious.
better.
I have not heard about this.
Mm-hmm.
The post-event shower. No, I've never heard about this. What?
That first shower after you get back from a long
Is this
event. Like, the year I went to Keep on the Borderlands, the lines for the showers were way too long, so we just all agreed to kind of deal with the stink on the drive home.
Gold Bond, man.
Exactly. It was wet.
Yeah. You put tighties on, you like powder your shit in Gold Bond, and then you pull the yoga pants over that, and if you're out there and you end up, cutting one loose, it has double effect. You get smacked somewhere, anywhere between the knees and the navel. There's this little poof. Yeah.
One of the things I love about here Rising Winds is we have cabins that have showers built in. So, you get that shower every day. It's just so glorious.
Yeah, our latest event was it was in like the 30s and 40s. So I was like, I could go walk down to the bathhouse and take a shower in the open air. They were enclosed showers, of course, but it's still like a large open air stall. And I'm like, I just know the second before I cut the water on, I'm gonna be freezing. I have to wait for it to heat up. And then the second after the water cuts off, I'm gonna be freezing again. I don't know if that's more enjoyable than dealing with the stink.
Yeah, that event was 20 minutes from home for me, so.
Nice.
Yeah, that's glorious.
So is it actually any worse than the anime viewing area at like a convention or something? Because I've heard that's bad.
Never been to the convention, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, we run a week long demo here at the Origins Gaming Convention in downtown Columbus, and it starts Wednesday and runs till Sunday. I will say about Friday, I'm telling people like you need to go bathe because there's a cloud around you. Go shower or else. Like, I'm not letting you back in this room until you prove to me that you have bathed.
Wow.
So I definitely know that convention stank.
Yeah.
So that
It seems like it may not be that bad after all.
Events aren't that bad because they're shorter. They're only like 2 or 3, two maybe 3 days. So it ain't too bad. But it is glorious when you get home and you just kind of put your hands on the shower water, just beat down your neck, and you're just like, oh, it's all gone now. You just stand there for an extra 5 minutes, especially after a summer event.
the Keep on the Borderlands one, the only other person in the vehicle was my now fiance, and this was before we started dating. So
I'm really surprised you started dating then. That's
Well,
a good woman. Keep her.
you gotta get through it to get, you know.
Yep. She's a keeper. Don't let her go.
Love the gas, Meg. Yeah. That was all I had. I had wondered if there was much of a difference because I got kind of spunky about running around the first time I got really good and cold, and I noticed, oh wait a minute, not so much.
Yep. Nope, not a whole lot different every week. It's all about the same.
yeah, the winter war I went to, the heat just got wicked away.
Yeah.
I think that was Winter War 2012.
I was probably there. I have been to a ton of Winter Wars.
That was way back when I was Prince of Winter's Edge the first time.
Oh, okay.
Tail end of my first reign.
That's interesting, because I was watching this really cool video about this. They armored this guy. They started like right down from his garb he was wearing. They got him all the way up to the plate, and it seemed like in the process he ended up with like the gambeson under that, the chain on top of that. Then there was a breastplate, piece of chain armor that went over his head, around his neck, and down onto his chest. And I'm like, between every layer of heavy stuff, there is a layer of chain. How? I'll bet that vents really well.
Chain does vent well, which is nice. I will take chain over breastplate in the summer months because it will breathe at least.
So if you like toss together like this aluminum ring 4-in-1 just to wear under like a breastplate, you think it would help?
So no, I don't think it will help because your breastplate's still going to hold in hold in everything. So it'll breathe to the breastplate, hit the breastplate, and then bounce back. So your breastplate's is what's insulating you, even with chain underneath it. The nice thing is, if you're doing if you do like just a breastplate and then your back open with chain, which I think Ren does if I remember correctly, it will breathe out your back, so you get a lot of wicking that way.
And
you don't lose a lot of points for it, which is nice.
Yeah, because the armor is where it is.
Yeah. Well, you'll average it, but if you're depending on what your chain's rated at, you won't lose much.
Drop from 5 or drop from 6 down to 5.
Basically, yeah.
And then if you grab Golem or the
heavy helm,
great Yep.
Yep.
And there's some really good heavy helms that are open faced under Cult of Athena. Wouldn't want to use them for anything other than Amped Guard, but
right. I use an old World War II bucket helm with the brim.
The old M1.
Huh?
The old M1.
Yep.
I've got one of those for a post-apocalypse game I used to play.
Oh, nice.
And I built a suit of plate out of old car parts and tire.
Wow.
Took the M1 helm, spray painted the whole thing camo, attached a chain drape to the M1. Love that suit.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Could you put like a picture of the M1 in the final version of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna look that up, but I'm gonna forget what that is by the time this comes around. That's good. All the best engineering is re-engineering.
Exactly.
So if I can find like a helmet that's already got a really nice dome on it, its next life will be a Kabuto.
There you go. It isn't an M1. It's a. It looks like it's a World War I Doughboy helm with the brim.
Mm-hmm.
You mix it with the medics wore. Although I'd like to get my hands on an M1. I like those too.
Let's see. That's what. That's a. If you got a hold of like what a repro, I wonder if they're very expensive.
I think I paid $30 for mine at an army surplus store.
That's not bad.
Now that was
You know what
back
they
in,
want for a sheet?
I was back in 2014, so take that with a grain of salt and inflation.
I bought a sheet of 16 gauge 24 by 24 from Lowe's last year. That was $40.
Yeah, Lowe's overcharges for sheet metal badly.
They were trying to
Ah.
I pay about $100 for a 4-foot by 10-foot sheet at a local sheet metal supplier.
There you go.
If I brought that home, the little lady would kill me. I wouldn't get a chance to make it into armor that I would need to shrug off the brutal attacks that I would get for trying to drag that in through the door.
Yeah, that's definitely a garage workshop kind of.
Yeah. Apartment shop over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Working on the porch. Yeah.
The shop I go to is nice enough to cut it into 2 4x5s, so it'll fit in the bed of my truck a little more easily.
What?
Is that how you sneak it in?
No, usually what I do is I go to one of my roommates and say, hey, would you mind giving me hand carrying this in?
Oh my god. Man, I
He has
get
a-
like funny
He has a
looks
great woman.
when I can't look at extra rolls of camp pad, but I'm going, mm-hmm.
Let me put it this way. My fiance has been playing Amp for 11 years, so...
Nice.
She's like, when are you going to make my breastplate?
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually starting to get a list of people wanting armor again. It's great.
Nice.
It's pretty stuff.
Yeah, my fiance is been doing Amp for 11 years, is a marvelous, marvelous garber.
Fantastic.
And at this point, probably better with a sword than I am.
More awesome. We need more women fighters in this game. There's not enough, in my opinion.
There really aren't.
Oh, crap. Hey, we're starting to get it on today. Things are starting to heat up a little bit. I'm gonna head out, guys. Thanks much. Sorry for being late.
Hey, good to have you on.
Yeah, always a pleasure, guys. Do I need to do an outro or something?
Nah, we'll catch you next time.
Awesome. All right. Hey, thanks a lot. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Is there anything else you guys want to go over? Because I think I'm about done too. It's my park day.
If you've got any last quick tips that you want to close out with?
Not offhand. Learn to count your armor points. That's the hardest part about warriors, is learning to count your armor. Especially if you got multiple points in different places. Learning for the longest time I had 4 on my legs, 5 on my arms, and 4 on my chest, and just can get confusing on where's where. So just practice that as much as you can. That's the bread and butter of warrior. And learn 10 feet. I know if I take a step and a half jump backwards, it's 10 feet from my opponent. So you jump back, yell scavenge, jump back in.
I think we're going to go ahead and close this out. Sir Juicy, thank you very much for joining us today.
You guys have a good day.
All right. I'll catch everybody else in the next episode, where we will cover in-depth enchantments and what the best ones are for a heavily armored warrior.
Thanks, guys.
Catch y'all later.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you.
Thank you again for joining us. Bye.